A Medical Doctor's Understanding of Buddhism, authored by Dr. Woon Tim Liu. Chapter 18, Diamond Sutra and the Altar Sutra of Sixth Patriarch and Words of Zen Masters. These two sutras are the most important books for those who would like to reach the purified and the enlightened state. There are two important verses in Diamond Sutra on meditation of do nothing. 1. Do not hold on to any object, be aware. 2. When about to attach to any object, stay unattached. These two verses are conveying a message similar to pure awareness. It is hoped that the Chinese wordings could help those who can also read Chinese to have a better understanding of the meaning of the sayings in English. In the Altar Sutra of Sixth Patriarch, the key words on meditation of do nothing are many. A condensed phrase is as below. Stop the moving mind, have no thought, be aware of what is going on in the mind, do not attach to or reject anything. Those who are interested in practicing the meditation of do nothing often ask the question to do or not to do. In Chinese, to do is
有味,
not to do is
无味.
The following are some answers by Zen masters. Doing is not right, and not doing is also not right. You must do something, and you must do nothing. You cannot get it by doing, you cannot get it by not doing. What the above means is that we have to try not to let the heart-mind move. Ordinary people's mind is moving rigorously all the time, like a monkey jumping around from place to place. The mind is incessantly moving from one thought to another. We have to stop the moving mind not by forceful effort but by the do-nothing effort. And the do-nothing effort means we still have to do something, yet that something is not something we use to do by forceful rigorous moving of the heart. Some people find it difficult not to have an object to focus on. One Zen master says there is an object that one can tie one's heart on, and that is the pillar of void or the post of emptiness. To tie one's heart on the pillar of void or the post of emptiness is just saying that there should not be any object but just awareness. All the above is trying to convey messages of what and how we should do during actual practice. Words and messages are just thoughts or ideas, they are not the actual doing. We must turn words and messages into actual doing. For example, one can repeatedly tell oneself many times to stand up in the mind when one is sitting, and yet still remain sitting and not standing up. One can have this stand-up thought repeated many times in the mind, but this would not make one stand up. But one can easily stand up when one puts the stand-up thought into actual doing. This is because we have achieved turning the thought into actual doing many times before, and thus it can easily be done. But turning the do-nothing or not doing or detaching or not attaching into actual happening during meditation is not at all easy, because we have never done this before and do not have such result of detachment. To learn to turn do-nothing into actual happening, one must practice. In Chinese, it is called Zen, which has the meaning of soaking into and seeping through. An analogy to explain this is as below. During practice, one needs to filter the attachments or toxic emotions. The liquid for filtering is our heart with all the attachments or toxic emotions. The filter paper substance are the words, the messages, and all the concepts that we have studied. The filtering process is one's actual doing. During the filtering process, we have to soak into and seep through, letting the heart goes through in its pure state, leaving the attachments and toxic emotions behind. The practice of do-nothing is called
参禅
in Chinese and Zen Zen in English, the first Zen being a verb and the second Zen being a noun. Zen means the soak into and the seep through, and how to turn words into actual doings. Zen means the practice of do-nothing. As said, our mind is constantly moving from one object to another object. This is the result of habit. To stop the mind, we could only try to do nothing and not use any forceful effort, as any effort will add oil to the moving mind. Do nothing needs be done because if not, the mind would keep moving by habitual force. Thus do nothing does not mean nothing should be done, it just means do not do anything that requires movement or force. In other words, just do not let the habitual force take into effect. The meditation of do nothing is the most important of Buddhism teachings and yet not easy to understand. One must actually practice to perhaps then grasp its meaning and technique. To do so, we must try to understand its meaning from different words, sayings, teachings, analogies, and different angles. And most importantly, we have to understand it by practicing. By learning, studying, understanding, practicing and persevering, we would be able to find the way of enlightenment. Chapter 14 must be studied well to understand this chapter. Chapter 19, returning to or regaining of one's original self-state. Returning to one's original self means the same as enlightenment or purification, and is what Buddha wants us to achieve, as our original self is pure, blissful, happy, and capable of anything. And to be exact, there is no self but just pure awareness and blissfulness. This can only be achieved by letting go all our attachments or the toxic emotions. So though one is capable of anything at that state, one would no longer have the mundane desires of human and would only have the virtues of the pureness and blissfulness. The world is full of sufferings, and the only way to free ourselves from sufferings is by not attaching anymore to the mundane desires of human. Yet most people would still choose to cling to the mundane desires and to endure sufferings at the same time. Only those who have the divine aspirations to free oneself and the others from sufferings would tread this body road of enlightenment, or tread back to where all of us come from. People must first have a glimpse or taste of the benefits of meditation of do nothing. When they do, they would realize that it is really something very precious and invaluable, and they would not stop going after it. This is a much more superb and noble thing to do in life than chasing after sensual pleasure. That is why actual practice is so important. So do not just be contented that you have learnt something. When you have the great fortune to come to know the very precious meditation of do nothing, do not waste your fortune. Study, understand, practice, persevere, seek and ask, and do not give up. Have a big heart to help yourself and others, and you will surely find the way lots of many others have not the fortune to even come close to. Chapter 20, the 3 things we should do in life. The body road of enlightenment is not easy. There are 3 things that we should do to help ourselves. 1. Do good things and not bad things. The one good thing we all must do is to diligently fulfill one's duty as a worker who assumes different role in life, for example as a father, as a husband, as an employee, as an employer, etc. When such basic duties are fulfilled, then we should actively contribute to the betterment of the society and mankind in other areas. And in order that we can help others, we need to work hard to get good result of effort. 2. Pray for the help of Buddhas and saints. Some people would say that if there are Buddhas and saints, they should come to help even if one does not ask for it. Such is ignorance, egoism, and conceitedness. Praying is a gesture to show respect, faithfulness, and humbleness. Buddhas and saints are always willing and ready to help those who are good, humble, respectful, and really in need. 3. To detach from the toxic emotions by practicing meditation of do nothing. Our goal of life is to return to our original purity and blissfulness, and this can only be achieved by practicing the meditation of do nothing. And this is the only way to find eternal happiness and be free from sufferings. So try to find time to practice in our daily life while continue to give, remain emotionally undisturbed, and be nice to all others. The most important of the 3 is 3. 3 is the goal of life but is not an easy thing to do. We need to do 1 and 2 to help us in 3. And even if we cannot make anything out of 3 for the time being, 1 and 2 will still give us a fulfilled, meaningful and happy life, this life and in the lives after. Chapter 21. Buddhism is a knowledge that can make this a better world. Buddhism is in essence a knowledge. It tells us what we are and teaches us to regain our original pureness and blissfulness. We do not live for one life. We have lived many lives, and will have many lives and would not perish. If that is what we believe, our understanding of life would be very different. Our goal, our doing, our expectations and our plans for life would be different towards the positive side. We would probably be still fear of death but perhaps not that much. Karma theory is fair and square. We ourselves are responsible for what we have now and will have in the future. We would know our direction of life. There is no such thing as taking advantage of or being taken advantage of. We get the result of what we do. We would have less discontent, stress, anger, animosity, hatred, etc. We would feel more at ease and would be more caring and loving. The meditation of do nothing is the way to find our original purity and blissfulness, would free us from all sufferings and would give us eternal happiness. It is a great blessing for those who could come across such knowledge. We must try practice it to get the indescribable and very great benefits of it. Many people do not have any religious belief, they just believe in the result of effort. Indeed, Buddhists must be careful not just to do good but must work hard. The result of effort of the 5 results is very important. We must study, understand, and practice all kinds of knowledge in a way to contribute to make this a better world. But atheists must also remember that a better world requires a better heart. Buddhism with its cause and result karma theory is perhaps the most acceptable theory to make people willingly become better persons. Buddhism, while emphasizing on purification within the heart, urges all people to work hard and do good deeds on the outside. A Buddhism saying says, "Do not do anything bad. Do all the good things. Purify your heart." And that is Buddhism. Or in 2 lines, empty your heart of attachments, fulfill your life with good doings. Closing words. This book is not meant to be comprehensive. It is hoped that it can give a clear concept of the essence of Buddhism, and the most important of which is returning to the original pureness and blissfulness by meditation of do nothing. Buddhism teachers say there are 2 types of religious followers. One is followers of wisdom and the other followers of sentiment. The former believe in something reasonable and logical, and the latter believe in someone amiable or adorable. Buddha's advice is to follow the theory and not the person. Once Buddha picked up a handful of sand in his hand. He then told his disciples that those who got the body of a human were like the sand in his hand, and those without the body of a human were like the sand on the whole earth. Buddha went on to say that those who could come across Buddhism were like the sand in his hand, and those who did not have the chance were like the sand on the whole earth. Buddha was trying to caution his disciples that it was not at all easy or incidental for anyone to be born as human, and it required great karma to be able to come across Buddhism. Buddha hopes all of us could make good use of our life. I would like to take the opportunity to thank all the great teachers who have taught me Buddhism and other knowledge. I must thank also all those who have helped spreading the fair and square, righteous and profound knowledge of Buddhism. I sincerely hope that more people could benefit from Buddhism. A Chinese saying says that, throw the brick out to attract the jade. It is hoped that the knowledgeable teachers in Buddhism would unstintingly continue to enlighten us. Lastly, I would like to wish everyone health and happiness, wisdom, and auspiciousness.